Hey folks, Cam Rogers here for NFL Daily, following a developing story surrounding Odell Beckham Jr. Now, according to the New York Daily News, the New York Giants are currently listening to trade offers for Odell Beckham. Now, there are many layers to this whole story, so this following a report from this morning indicating that Odell would not play in 2018 if he doesn't get that extension that he is requesting. John Mara also over the weekend said some harsh words for Odell following that leaked video portraying him in a hotel with drugs. Co-owner Mara said, quote, "I think too often he allows himself to be put in bad situations and needs to use better judgment." So suffice it to say that Beckham and Giants leadership are on rickety ground at this juncture. So with that, the Giants are reportedly seeking a first-round pick and then some. Whatever that and then some is up for discussion, but it likely wouldn't be another first-round pick. So Odell Beckham Jr. could be on the trade block. Mara also said that no player is untouchable on the New York Giants. So with that, folks, I've got 5 teams to watch out for. I'm going to count you down, number 5 to number 1, the most likely trade partners with the Giants for Odell Beckham Jr. Let's check in with number 5, the San Francisco 49ers, and they have showed interest in big-time wide receivers before, looking back to Mr. Allen Robinson, who eventually went to the Chicago Bears. The 49ers did recently extend Marquise Goodwin, which tells me that John Lynch and San Francisco's leadership is pretty content with the current state of the wide receiver position. But we put the Niners here because, 1, they got a good amount of salary cap space. 2, they have that 9th overall pick in 2018, and a lot of rumors are surfacing that maybe the 49ers want to trade back from that pick anyway, so maybe they'd be okay with trading it away to the Giants in exchange for Odell Beckham Jr. Good amount of cap space, as you see at the bottom of your screen there, and a very good up-and-coming squad just in general, right? There's a lot of energy surrounding Niner Empire right now. Jimmy Garoppolo got his big-time contract. He played really well in 2017. You've got a secondary that I think is going to be really good with Richard Sherman, Akella Witherspoon, K'Wan Williams at the slot corner position as well. You got Solomon Thomas on that front line for the defensive side. So things are coming together here for San Francisco. Maybe it's a point of interest for Odell Beckham Jr. as you see that wide receiver depth chart for the 49ers. Pierre Garçon coming back from injury. You got Marquise Goodwin, who I mentioned. Trent Taylor is a guy who will perform pretty darn well in 2018. Looked pretty good last year. After that, it's a drop-off. 49ers can handle Odell Beckham Jr. John Lynch has shown that he can be aggressive in free agency. We'll see about the 49ers. Checking in at number 4, the Cleveland Browns. Oh, GM John Dorsey has not pulled any punches so far in free agency. The Browns have been quite aggressive so far. Of course, they acquired Jarvis Landry, who, by the way, recently tweeted out in hopes that Odell Beckham Jr. would come to the Cleveland Browns. And outside of Landry, you can look at Tyrod Taylor coming on over as a new quarterback. They just signed Drew Stanton as well. Carlos Hyde, now a member of that backfield. EJ Gaines recently signed in the secondary there. So you have all that, plus the amount of salary cap space that the Browns currently have. They are number 1 in the NFL in terms of salary cap positioning. So they have money to spend. And just imagine this, folks, as you see the depth chart. You got Landry. You got Josh Gordon. Imagine Odell Beckham Jr. catching passes alongside Jarvis, alongside Gordon, even Corey Coleman too, from one, maybe Sam Darnold, Josh Rosen, Baker Mayfield, whatever the case may be. But the Browns certainly have the draft capital to kind of dangle for GM Dave Gettleman if Gettleman does have a piqued interest about it. All right, let's go to team number 3 here, the Indianapolis Colts. So a few reasons here. Number 1, they could use a big-time wide receiver opposite of T.Y. Hilton. Yeah, they signed Ryan Grant, big whoop there. The reality is, as we stand for the Colts, it's T.Y. Hilton and everybody else. There's Ryan Grant there, Chester Rogers, the list goes on. But there's a good amount of salary cap space for the Colts here. And remember, when we're talking about Odell Beckham Jr., a team is going to have an amount of money where they can pay Odell Beckham after his rookie contract is all said and done. So after 2018, a team has to have a big fat pocketbook to play with here to really satisfy Odell Beckham. So you have the need at wide receiver, the salary cap space. How about the offensive line as well? The Colts addressing pass protection big time, bringing back Jack Newhart. They got Slauson there at guard as well. Ryan Kelly coming back at center. Andrew Luck returning from injury. It's all kind of coming together for perhaps a very nice step in the right direction for the Indianapolis Colts in 2018. They can make a giant leap if they were to get Odell Beckham Jr. And how about all of that draft capital that they have, all those second-round picks, thanks to the New York Jets in that trade? So a lot of reasons to think Indianapolis will make a run at Odell, and of course GM Chris Ballard, one of the best, and he wants to make a name for himself. Only a couple years into his GM job here. If he gets Odell, boy, he would cement his legacy there in Indianapolis. All right, let's get to team number 2 here, the New Orleans Saints. Little homecoming opportunity for Odell. He's from Baton Rouge, played at LSU, of course. The problem is the Saints have salary cap constraints, so that's something to watch here. But obviously, there are at least 3 more good years of Drew Brees right now. That may be the Super Bowl window that Odell Beckham Jr. is looking for. Now, whether it's 3 years, 2 years, 4 years for Drew Brees, up for discussion. I'm kind of putting it at 3 here just to kind of create an argument, and the Saints have built really a fantastic team around Drew Brees where he's not needed as much, kind of heightening his longevity, where he can kind of last longer. You got Alvin Kamara and Mark Ingram at the running back position doing a fantastic job there. Then you have a defense with Marshawn Lattimore, Ken Crawley, Patrick Robinson, recently acquired, all of those players in the secondary that I think is going to be really, really good. So there's a Super Bowl opportunity here in New Orleans. The Saints may make the move and worry about the financials later. We'll see what happens there. But you look at the depth chart here for the Saints. They got Michael Thomas, Ted Ginn, Willie Snead, 3 really good receivers. And then you have Brandon Coleman, Tommy Lee Lewis as well. But if the Saints really want to put themselves atop the NFC, I think Odell Beckham Jr. would certainly help them in doing so. So with that, let's get to my number 1 team, the Los Angeles Rams. You got the big market in LA, right? Going from New York to LA, not too much of a difference there. The team for the Rams rapidly rising. Now, they did lose Sammy Watkins to the Kansas City Chiefs, so that leaves Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods as the top dogs at the wide receiver position. Both really good players, but still, if you bring in Odell Beckham Jr., I think that totally changes things for the Los Angeles Rams. Just imagine Odell Beckham Jr. alongside the reigning Offensive Player of the Year in Todd Gurley. You got Jared Goff, who's performing better and better with each game. John Sullivan at center. I know we don't like to talk about offensive linemen, but this is important. Sullivan returning at center is huge for continuity's sake. Had a pretty darn good year in 2017, too. And that secondary for the Rams, Talib, Marcus Peters, the list goes on. Heck, they're in the Ndamukong Suh sweepstakes as well. So the Rams are forming into a legit NFC contender. Maybe Odell Beckham Jr. says to himself, I see an opportunity here for a couple of Super Bowl rings. Not just one, a couple, maybe 3, because the Rams are looking like a really darn good team for the years to come. All right, so let's summarize my list here, ladies and gentlemen. We got the Rams at 1, the Saints at 2, the Colts at 3, the Browns at 4, and the 49ers at 5. Did I not talk about your team? Well, here are the teams that just missed the cut. You got the Jets in there. I originally had them on my list, but do you really think the Giants would trade to the Jets? Just don't see it. Got the Raiders there as well. They've shown to be pretty active in the free agency period so far. Jacksonville Jaguars, the Tom Coughlin connection. Houston Texans as well, a rising team. New England Patriots, we put them there because it would certainly be interesting, a Belichick, Odell Beckham Jr. kind of pairing there in New England. So we got the Patriots there on the list. But I want to hear from you here on NFL Daily. Which team has the best shot to acquire Odell Beckham Jr.? Give me a heart in the comments section for the Rams, a like for the Saints, a laughing face for the Colts, and a wow face for other. If you think it's another team out there, be sure to let me know and specify what that team is in the comments section below. All right, folks, I'm Cam Rogers for NFL Daily. Check me out on Twitter at Mr. Rogers99. I'll see you next time.